Welcome to the Football Fignuts podcast. It is season 7, episode 5, and if you're keeping track, that's 280 episodes in all. I'm Sean.
I'm Craig.
And my name is Britt, and gentlemen, we are here for the most anticipated episode of the entire season. Tonight is the tight end kicker defense spectacular. But before we start there, we have to say happy birthday to our missing contributor tonight. The reason we are just a party of 3 tonight is because tonight is the Cinch's 39th birthday.
Yay.
Happy birthday, Cinch.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cinch.
Yep, happy birthday. The guy is only 39 years old, and yet he has 40 plus years of fantasy experience. It's a freaking miracle. Don't ask how that shit works. But so we'll be a team of 3 tonight as we tackle tight ends, probably kickers, and we might mention defenses. But first, we begin where we always begin. Gentlemen, let's start with Sean. What are you drinking tonight?
I am about to drink
Yes.
a watercolors Berlin style Weiss beer that has, oh my goodness, let me see here.
Oh, Jesus.
Passion fruit, mango, tangerine, peach, apricot, pineapple, vanilla, and milk sugars.
Wow, it's a fruit salad.
Yeah, seriously, that's a lot of crap in that.
How is it? Did you open it? Open it.
It's fruity. I did open it. That was the first thing. You didn't hear it?
I didn't hear it.
No, actually, we
Maybe the
didn't.
recording caught it.
Maybe.
Nice.
I
Do you
gotta
like?
turn
Do you
Sean
like
down
it?
just a little
Do you
bit.
like it?
Yeah, I do like it. It's not as tart as you think it would be,
Okay.
but you get a little bit of it right up front.
Nice. Nice.
And definitely fruity. It does, because there's so much fruit in it, it just tastes like fruit. I can't really get
Oh,
to,
so it's like that punch you used to drink in college. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, like jungle juice?
Oh, yeah. Jungle.
Dude, we went to college in the 90s because we're old as fuck. And like that was a standard thing. Here's a bottle of grain alcohol and 4 gallons of Kool-Aid.
Good luck.
Hawaiian punch.
Or Hawaiian Punch.
Or
yeah.
whatever you found on sale.
Yeah. I can't even taste the alcohol. Yeah, okay. That's because you adjusted 40 grams of sugar in that gulp.
Oh, you'll taste it later tonight. It's coming back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At UConn, the nearest liquor store was right next to like a Cumberland Farms. So it was easy. Go grab your mixer, then you just go right into the Cumbies and grab like 2 gallons of bug juice for like 99 cents a gallon.
Nice.
You're drinking all night for like $5, kids. Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
So tonight I have a beer on the other end of the spectrum.
Oh.
Almost. This is from a local brewery that we really need to go to. This is from Space Cat. Yep. This is the Tree Cat, and on the cover of the can, it's cats jumping in giant cat trees. This is a West Coast style IPA, which I know you don't like them, but I like them just to mix it up because around here, everything is so juiced
New
out.
England?
Yeah. Yep. But it's like we go to a brewery and there's like 12 versions of the same beer.
So we've got Little Juicy, Too Juicy, Mega Juicy, Omega Juicy,
Cloud Source.
Yeah. So like we love Two Roads, but Two Roads has like 6 New England IPAs, and they all have the word juicy in the title.
They do. I mean, they're good, but I just
they're
like
not bad. But if you don't want juicy,
it's
So I am drinking speaking of Two Roads, I am drinking a Road to Ruin, which is technically, believe it or not, a West Coast IPA, even though I've never bought into that hype that they say it's a West Coast IPA.
Huh,
there
interesting. I know you've said it before. I still remember the first time we had it, and it was we didn't like it.
Oh my!
We were like, "What the hell is this?"
The very first time we took Craig to Two Roads, we had taken Sean already. That was the day that Sean, Christy, and I went on the tour. But the very first time we took Craig to Two Roads, like a month later, we decided because I only tried like one beer at that time. I think it was Workers' Comp was their farmhouse ale I tried, and I stuck with that because I didn't really have the beer experience that I have now. But when we went back with Craig was like, let's get flights. Let's try a little bit of everything. So we did, and we kind of synced up. It was like, all right, I'm going to try this now. Okay, so we try it together and we would discuss it. we got to the road to ruin, and we both made a face. And Craig just went, I don't think I want to drink that anymore. And now here we are 10 years later, and it's one of our go-tos.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know if it's an acquired taste or if it just changed that much. Back then, it was very piney.
Yeah. I think it was much more piney-er back then, but if you looked at the beers we drank before Two Roads opened, you know, they're all like basic kind of stuff, and nothing was like that before, so it was a big
much more
switch.
lagery. We did not have the hop sense that we have now.
Right.
Not by a long
before the IPA explosion.
And the craft beer explosion in Connecticut. I mean, back then, Connecticut had like 2 breweries. Now we have over 150.
Yeah, like craft beer was Sam Adams then.
Yeah.
And Shock Top.
Right?
Not there's anything wrong with either of those, but still, I'm just,
hey,
saying.
don't get angry at Shock Top. I'm going to own shares of Shock Top.
Oh, that's right. Hey, I like Shock Top.
Anheuser-Busch is selling Shock Top brand to Tilray, who is a cannabis maker in Canada, and I just already happen to have stock in Tilray, so I now own a brewery.
So
as far as I'm concerned.
Nice.
So why is cannabis-based buying beer?
Why not? I mean, it's the same market.
Yeah, Tilray's trying to get a foothold in the U.S., and they're finding it's a lot easier to own an American beer company, I think, than it is to start distributing cannabis in America.
Yeah.
So, I mean, beer is legal in all 50 states. Cannabis is still kind of, I don't know, federal guidelines, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, think about it. If the federal government gets off its ass and legalizes cannabis across the 50 states, all of a sudden, what's that?
Thank you, Connecticut.
Thank you, Connecticut. All of a sudden, Tilray's like, you know what? It's convenient. We got like 70 warehouses in Connecticut now, and in the United States now distributing beer. We'll just ship the cannabis there.
Yep. Makes sense.
It's I honestly think, and I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying that's what it appears to be. So, okay. Let's move on because we got a lot to cover tonight, and that's a
oh boy,
oh boy, most exciting episode of the year. All right, for tonight's burning hot trivia.
Okay,
I have in front of me a list of tight ends because we're talking about tight ends.
Okay.
It's no shock that our consensus number 1 tight end is going to be Travis Kelce, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Travis Kelce averaged 9.1 yards per target last year. Not reception, but per target.
Okay.
But that, among tight ends with at least 25 receptions, so none of the guys who caught like one pass kind of thing. Oh, I had one target for one pass and one target, and I got 27 yards. None of those guys. So among the guys who had at least 25 targets last year, that puts him 8th among all tight ends.
Okay.
Can you guys tell me the 7 tight ends who had a better yard per target than Travis Kelce? And we'll go back and forth. They each get 3 strikes. Who wants to guess first?
I'll go first.
All right. Who's one of the 7 guys? Now, and again, has to have a minimum of 25 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still playing, right?
25
They played in 2022. They had 25 receptions in 2022. Give me one of the 7 guys who had a better yard per target than Travis Kelce.
So I know this guy goes down the field. I don't know. I know he was a little injured last year. I don't know if he had enough receptions, but I'm going to say Greg Dulcich from Denver.
No, Greg Dulcich is incorrect. I don't even see him on the list. So no, there he is. He had 33 receptions, but he only averaged 8.06 yards per target.
Wow. Okay.
Huh.
So that's a strike on Sean. Craig, what do you got?
He's usually at the top, so we'll just say it. Let's go with Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews is also not on this list. He was number 19 at 7.99 yards per target. So I don't think you're going to get all these names. Some of these names are a little obscure, but they're all guys who caught at least 25 passes, so they're not like guys who played one game. So I'm really curious to see who will get more. Back to Sean. All 7 answers are still on the board.
I'm going to go another one that's gotten quite a bit of TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson is incorrect. TJ Hawkinson, 7.25 yards per target.
Hmm.
By the way, this information comes courtesy of the Fantasy Points Data Beta, which is currently available at data.fantasypoints.com. They are giving receiving basic yards and basic information for free. Please check them out. So that's strike 2 on Sean. Craig, what have you got?
Let's see. Let's go with Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram is incorrect.
Oh, boo.
Evan Ingram averaged 7.9 yards per target. All right, so you're both down to your final strike. Neither one of you have gotten anybody off the list. So this is really who can get one before they can strike out. Sean, give me a name.
Let me go back to a list of tight ends here.
Really quick, can you tell me the stat number again?
Yards per target, better than Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce was at 9.1.
Okay. All right.
And you have to have at least 25 receptions because there's always that one guy who had one target with one reception for 47 yards.
Right.
And all of a sudden his target is at 47 yards per target. So I said you had to have at least 25 receptions to make this list.
I'm going to go with George Kittle.
George Kittle is number 5 on this list at 9.33 yards per target. That is a hit. So, Craig, pressure is on you. You have to get one of these right, or Sean wins with one correct answer. Give me one of the other 6 players better than Travis Kelce in yards per target last year.
All right. Yeah. All right. Do I go with him or him? All right. Let's see.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Let's go with. Yep.
It was Kittle.
Okay. I can't mark it off on my board, so I just want to make sure I got it. Okay, Kittle's a good guess.
Let's go with Sean's favorite tight end, Pat Freiermuth.
Pat Freiermuth is incorrect. So Craig will strike out, and Sean is the great. Pat Freiermuth, 7.71 yards per target. Sean, you get another. You want to just really show him up and put out another name? You already won.
I'll put out Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is not on this list. Kyle Pitts is I don't even see him on this list. Okay, really? I'm not going to go down. All right, so who was it? Number 1 in yards per target with a minimum of 25 receptions was Dallas Goedert.
Really?
10.3 yards per target.
I was looking at these guys and going,
damn, I was gonna say him too. That was the other one I was choosing between.
I'm gonna botch the next guy's name. Is Chizozum in Okonkwo?
Oh yes.
Okonkwo. I always botch this guy's name. The guy from Tennessee. He averaged exactly 10 yards per target. Jordan Akins from Houston comes in at 9.9. Colby Parkinson from Seattle. People forget, but he had 25 catches last year, and he for 322 yards, which is a solid tight end too, with how bad it was last year. 9.76. You said George Kittle at 9.33. Darren Waller.
Really?
9.24 yards per target. But he only had 28 receptions last year. That's why nobody thinks of him. And then this one's going to blow your mind. Ready for this? Number 7, the last guy ahead of Travis Kelce is Will Disley.
Hey, remember him?
9.18 yards per target. So of the guys who are better yards per target than Travis Kelce, 2 of the 7 played for Seattle last year.
Watch it. I'm telling you, Dalton Kincaid will beat that too. We'll beat
Dalton
him at
Kincaid's in Seattle. Does that make Dalton Kincaid a target? I mean, that's...
No, he's the Buffalo.
He's the Buffalo.
Who's in Seattle? Is Disley still in Seattle?
Oh, Disley, yeah.
Yeah.
Noah Fant is Seattle.
So then there you go. So I see it. Watch Seattle tight ends is the message there. So, all right. Do either of you have a burning hot take you want to bring to the table before we jump into the rankings?
I don't have anything other than with a random factoid that I just wanted you to know that the Jerry Jones Cowboys, presented by Jerry Jones, who play in Jerry Jones Stadium, They're at least $2 billion more valuable than the other 31 NFL franchises.
That freaking blows my mind. That freaking blows my mind.
Yep.
That team can't win a game of bingo outside the regular season.
I think they've already missed the playoffs.
I've said it a million times in this podcast before. One of my favorite Smudge memes. The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, and Smudge responds only if they buy tickets. Every year. And it's funny because Sean and I play in a work league, and the guy who's the commissioner of the work league is a rabid Cowboys fan.
Oh, that's sad.
And the rest of the league poke the shit out of him, and I just sit there and be like, I'm not gonna say anything to this dude.
I get him every once in a while.
Yeah, I won't do it to him because I number one, I like the guy, and number two, he suffered enough. He suffered enough. By the way, I'm the defending champion of that league. I'm so excited. Yeah. Sean got upset in the semifinals. Oh my God, we were so set for a Sean versus Britt final. And then the dude, I don't even remember who I beat in the final, but they just freaking they got the week of all weeks against Sean, and they beat him like 300 to like 175. Like in a league that averages 160 points, this guy scored like 300.
Not good.
And I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna win the Super Bowl. And then of course it comes down to the final game of the season. What was the final game of the regular season? It was Bills Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I had Joe Mixon. Or no, he had Joe Mixon. I can't remember. I had what's his name? The tight end from the Bills.
Dawson Knox.
And somebody else. I think I had two. I think James Cook
You
maybe.
did have two.
I had two, and I was up by like 40 points.
Davis?
So Yahoo's like, you have a 97% chance to win this. And then the game gets canceled.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, our guy's like, how do you want to do this? I mean, technically, there's no chance he was going to catch you, right? Unless Joe Mixon had 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, but
I mean, it could have happened, but maybe like a 1% chance of it happening.
It was literally a 97% chance of winning the league.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. What the fuck? So what we did was I said to the commissioner, I said, go to the guy who's technically going to lose and see if he'll take $100 off of my check onto his, which made it like a 700 to 400 split instead of an 800 to 300. And the dude was just like, holy shit. Yeah, I pretty much assumed I was losing. So I'm fine with another $100.
$300. Why not? Right.
Yeah. $300 to avoid controversy. And then the guy who runs the league is like, man, you're a good dude. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I just didn't want to fucking argue.
Yeah.
I'm winning $700. I'll take it.
The year before, I lost the Super Bowl by half a point.
Oh my God.
And the year before, I won the whole thing. So I was totally expecting that for once we got to the semifinals, I was going to be me and you. But
it was absolutely. A member of this podcast has been in the last 3 Super Bowls of this league, and I've only been in the league for 2 years. They just brought me in.
Oh, I thought you've been in it.
Sean's been in it forever, but I just got added. Like, this is my second year. I went in the second year. I jokingly said to Sean, I'm like, it's $100 entry, and I'm up $700 after 2 years. I might retire. I'm all about taking the win. So anyway, all right, let's get into the tight end stuff. So our consensus number 1 pick, shock to no one, is Travis Kelce. Kelce is, sorry, I'm a little gassed here. Kelce is heads and above in the best offense in the league for a tight end. He's the most trusted target of Patrick Mahomes. Aside from injury, what could possibly limit Travis Kelce this season?
His mouth.
Off the top of your head, his mouth. Craig, go with that.
he's we all admit it. I'm not making fun of the Chiefs, but
no, and this is not news.
He's a hot-headed player, and he's very easy to piss off. And if the right person pokes him enough, he's gonna get ejected.
And if he gets poked in the wrong way and starts a fight, he's not only getting ejected, he might miss a couple games.
Mm-hmm. It's always a risk with him.
Right, Sean. Other than injury, what can stop Travis Kelce?
Age catching up with him. That's pretty much it. If he slows down and he can't separate, that's the only thing I could think of.
How old is freaking Travis Kelce?
34.
Is
Is
he?
he really?
I believe so.
33.
So really quick though,
He must be turning 34 this year.
if 30 is the height of the mountain for a running back age, what's tight end age?
I gotta say it's quite close because, they're more. I mean, the blocking and stuff like that. They're in the more physical kind of thing. I think, plus the running and being a receiver. I gotta say it's that because the receiver is up until usually about what 34, 35 as well. It's not much older.
Receivers all about the legs holding up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's the upper. Sean brings up a valid point. The reason running backs and offensive linemen age so poorly in general is because their upper body takes an absolute beating, and that translates to leg fatigue, right? Think about your average offensive lineman. The ball snaps. If they don't make immediate contact, what do? They take a step back, they spread their legs to get leverage, and then they brace to get hit.
Yep.
Tight end isn't that different. So I think, and running back, the same sort of thing. Running back legs are supposed to be always moving. So I mean, Rice played into his 40s. I think that's unusual these days.
Rare.
So yeah, maybe Travis Kelce. I hate that. I don't think Sean's coming down on us when I say that, but Travis Kelce might be due for a step back. I mean, we talk about injury being the only thing that can stop Travis Kelce. The other thing that can stop Travis Kelce is an injury to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because you bring in the other quarterback, it does not make a difference what kind of chemistry they have. It's not the same chemistry.
You can ask Mark Andrews that.
Exactly. Which leads us to who we have in the rest of the top 5. Number 2 is Mark Andrews. Every one of this podcast had him at number 2 except one of us.
Dun, dun, dun.
One of us had him at number 3.
Dun, 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 dun.
Who was that person? You can find out next week. Number 3 on our list is TJ Hawkinson, who has gotten a massive step up with the trade. Where is he now?
Minnesota.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah,
again.
Last week.
What's that?
I messed that up a little bit last week.
That's fine.
Yep.
But
he plays
Hawkinson,
with your BFF now, so.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is my boy.
My quarterback, bro.
Dude, he's all I've got left in Scott Fishbowl. My first round pick was Joe Burrow, who's a problem now. If you listen to what's his name, wide receiver guy. Who's that guy? Jamar Chase. Yeah, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Okay.
You come back week 5, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So my number 2 pick was frickin' Jonathan Taylor.
Oh no!
Who might be playing for the Winnipeg Jets at this time? I have no idea.
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt, right?
Who?
So for those who hadn't heard, Jamar Chase went on like a podcast, and they're like, "How badly do you need to get Joe Burrow back?"
Oh, yeah.
Jamar Chase was like, it's more important to get healthy. We don't really need him back that quickly. And people immediately went, Jamar Chase needs to work on his work with Joe Burrow. They're not on the same page. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have no chemistry.
Or he has way too much information. He's spilling the beans.
Now they asked him if he's gonna be back, like if he wants him back for week 1, and he said if he's not, then it's not a big deal. So he didn't want him to rush his recovery, because like last year Jamar Chase could have played week 14 or 15 and he didn't, because he didn't want to risk getting re-hurt so quickly. So
and let's play that game. All right, Jamar Chase. Okay, maybe it's possible Jamar Chase doesn't have the great chemistry with Joe Burrow. The stats would say differently, right? We're not going to argue.
Yeah, since they've been playing since they were like 17. Sure.
But let's stop for a minute and consider the Bengals' schedule. Is Jamar Chase playing the long game? Because they open at the Browns. Yeah. I'm not really scared if Burrow misses that game.
No, I don't think anyone is.
Then they play at home against the Ravens.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Then they play at home against the Rams.
Yeah, they're falling apart.
And the first week of October, they're in Tennessee. So the first 4 games, I'm not really. I'll take it a step further. In week 5, they're at the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, they can just no one can play.
Let's assume Joe Burrow doesn't play any of those games. So Browns, Ravens, Rams, Titans, Cardinals. How many of the games do the Bengals win without Joe Burrow? Because I'm seeing 3 or 4.
They win at least 3. They beat the Browns. They beat the Cardinals. I think the hardest game, just because of their history, would be against the Ravens. Honestly.
Right? Sean, what do you think? Out of those 5 games, so again, Browns, Ravens, Rams, Titans, Cardinals. How many of those games do they win without Joe Burrow?
At least, I think 3. Yeah.
And they could go 5-0.
They could.
Those teams are good.
They've beat Tennessee before, so...
They don't run into a real team, honestly, in my opinion, until October 29th at the 49ers.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
That's like 7 weeks into the season.
Maybe he's right.
So maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't have a problem with Joe Burrow, which is kind of likely that he doesn't have a problem with Joe Burrow. Maybe it's just like he looked at the schedule and went, "Bro, light up a cigar, go get yourself in the therapeutic hot tub. We got you, fam."
Yeah, I'm not too worried about September, honestly. For the first time in a very long,
Now, to be fair, October 29th is at the Niners. Then they're at home against the Bills.
Yeah, then their schedule takes a turn.
Yeah, so. All of a sudden, outside of you have the Texans. Yeah, they got the Texans a week later. But then they've got a string where they got the Jaguars, Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs.
I'm not worried about the Colts. Everybody else.
And that Steelers game is in Pittsburgh. When I say Steelers, that's in Pittsburgh the week of Christmas.
Oh. Yeah, the AFC North games, they honestly can go either way, with the exception of the Browns. The games can go either way.
Those division games, it can go either way.
Exactly. As bad as I think the Steelers are, and as down as I am on them, at that point, Kenny Pickett's had 9 weeks.
Assuming he's still starting.
Yeah, assuming everyone's healthy and at that point he's pretty settled in my opinion.
I think he will be. I think he's going to be fine. Actually,
I think he is. And at 9 weeks in, if nobody's hurt, that's a good league. All right, so back. We were supposed to be talking about tight ends. I'm a couple beers in. So we got Kelce at 1. We got Andrews at 2, Hawkinson at 3, Pitts at 4, and Dallas Goedert at 5. Andrews, Hawkinson, Pitts, Goddard. Who do you like there, and when do you target them? Kelce's going to go in the first 3 rounds, right? Easily?
First round.
And might possibly even first round, right?
Yeah. He'll be gone by the 3rd round, period. So.
I tell you got to take one of those other 4 guys. Andrews, Hawkinson, Pitts, Goddard. When are you targeting them, and who do you like? Let's start with Craig.
Out of those 4, I'll pick 2, because I can't make up my mind. Probably be Hawkinson and Goddard. Between the 2, Hawkinson I think is gonna go before Goddard.
Agreed.
He'll probably be gone. Well, depending on your league and how many people are in your league, I think he'll be gone by round 5 at the most.
Assume 12 teams. So
then he's
good guess.
Yeah, then he's definitely gone by then. Dallas Goedert isn't a good offense for him, as we clearly heard from the stats before. So that would be my second choice.
So. Follow-up question before we go to Sean.
Yep.
Would you rather take Hawkinson in round 4, or would you rather wait till round 5 and get Goddard?
That's a tough question, because that's a who's there question, which is hard to answer.
Assume they're both there in round 4. Are you going up for Hawkinson, or do you wait for Goddard?
So I'll make it a little easier. I know that Hawkinson's ADP has got him going actually in the 3rd round.
Okay.
Oh.
So your 3rd round pick, I'm going to presume you have a running back and then either a running back or wide receiver. It's round 3, 12-team draft, assuming no keepers. Are you really thinking Hawkinson there? Because you're going to see other names there that are going to be pretty tempting. Like, for example, guys like Travis Etienne or Breece Hall. You're going to see names like DeAndre Hopkins and Keenan Allen.
I've been burned on the Keenan Allen train before, so.
Bad example, but you know what
I mean. I would definitely consider Hawkinson there. It's rough if you're getting points per reception, then yes, I'd probably go with Hawkinson.
All right, crazy thing before we go to Sean.
Yeah.
You got a running back and a wide receiver.
Yep.
It's round 3.
Yep.
Joe Mixon or TJ Hawkinson, go.
PPR Hawkinson.
Really? Okay. That was that was the one to tempt you. So, Sean, Andrews, Hawkinson, Pitts, Goddard. Who do you like, and how early can you take them?
Oh, like I said, I've seen Hawkinson's ADP going in the 3rd round, and for me, I like him,
but not 3rd round like him.
That has been it's been a little too steep there for me.
I like you, Dottie. Like you.
I'd rather take like a Pitts in the 6th than Hawkinson in the 3rd.
Does Pitts actually make it to the 6th round?
I'm going through ADP stuff.
That's fantastic. I'm glad you're doing that.
It's ADP does have him in the 6th round.
Okay. So outside of our top 5, we've got George Kittle. Let's just have a 2-second conversation. Yes or no, super fast. Is the only reason George Kittle is outside the top 5 is because of his injury history? Sean, yes or no?
Yes.
Wrong answer. Craig.
Yes, and his quarterback history.
No, wrong answer. It's a yes or no. That's it. That's all you get. And the answer is yes. One of the guys on one of the fantasy sports shows does that, where like you get one question, and if you come on to like, oh, let's go to Britt from Connecticut. Hey guys, how are you doing? Good. Next caller. That's what they'll do. You get one question.
Literally one question.
Exactly. It's like, oh my God, what is it? It's like the football frenzy.
Yes. I think it's something like that, but it's I can't remember who does it either. It's freaking hysterical. Somebody falls for it every time. It's like, have you ever seen? I know Sean has probably seen this movie. Again, I'm digressing a little bit. The Dungeons and Dragons movie I watched for the first time this past weekend. I know Craig hasn't seen it, but I think Sean has.
Yes.
They cast a spell on a corpse, and you only get to ask it 3 questions. And the first one, they're like, were you at this battle? And he goes, yes. Did you die in the battle? Yes. Guys, I think he went into the battle. And the corpse goes, yes. And then falls back into the grave. And they're like, dude, you can't phrase things like a question.
If we played D&D with us, that would happen. You know that, right?
Oh my God, it absolutely would happen.
And then I think they did another corpse, and they only asked him 2 questions.
And they left him there.
He's like, hello?
He's like, you have to ask me one more question before I can rest. Guys, hello? Anyway, all right. So, yes, I think George Kittle, the only reason we have him ranked at 6 is because of his injury history. We just can't move him higher. If I told you George Kittle was going to play at least 13 games this year, would you move him higher, yes or no, Craig?
No.
Sean?
No.
Okay. Rest of the top 10, we've got Darren Waller at number 7, Evan Engram at number 8, David Njoku, who I wasn't even sure
still
was
plays?
still in the league. Yeah, he's at number 9, and then number 10 is Pat Freiermuth.
That's Sean's favorite tight end.
So now we're looking outside the first range. We're looking in that borderline character. These guys are lower tight end 1s, maybe tight end 2. Really quick, who do you like? Waller, Engram, Njoku, or Freiermuth? Craig?
I'm still on the Ingram train, so I'm going to say Evan Engram.
All right, Sean?
I'm gonna probably freaking just drink the Kool-Aid, and I've heard so much good stuff about him. Do it. He's healthy.
Pat Freiermuth.
He's looking great chemistry with the quarterback. It's Darren Waller.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm all right with that. I thought you, Craig and I both thought you were going Freiermuth.
No.
So you know what? I'm gonna give you 20 seconds. Sell me on Darren Waller.
It's okay. Daniel Jones. He's gonna have to have some kind of safety blanket, and we all know that he has 8 million slot receivers, but no really great receiver at all. So who's the main target? I mean, they even said it. They've even said it on the team. Is it the team or the beat reporters? Waller is going to be the main receiver. So
Interesting.
if he stays healthy, he's going to get fed the targets.
I like it. Number 11 is Akanankwo. God, I can't pronounce this guy's name. It kills me. Number 12 is Dalton Schultz. Number 13 is my personal friend, Cole Kmet. Number 14 is Tyler Higbee. Greg Dulcich comes at number 15. Yes, I'm rushing. Number 16 is Juwan Johnson. Number 17, we've got Dalton Kincaid. Number 18 is Gerard Everett. So now we're clearly into the RB2. Because we got to move on, because we still have to talk briefly at least about kickers and defenses. Of the guys I just listed, the guys after Pat Freiermuth, is there anybody who excites you that we haven't talked about already? That a flyer or somebody you're like, oh my God, he's undervalued. Give me a name. Let's start with Sean.
Wow. This group that you gave a pretty big group there.
Or anybody else. Anybody we haven't already discussed. If you want to go outside the group, that's fine.
Now, actually, I don't mind this group. You know, I like, especially with if you're waiting this long on tight ends to go with upside here. Yeah, Dalton Schultz is there. Yeah, he's in a new place. Yeah, he might be a pretty big target there, but it's boring.
Wow.
It's give me
Ballsy.
Same thing, and I'll even tell you, Cole Kmet, boring. You know he's going to give you 60 catches this year. You know he's going to give you only like 700, 800 yards, maybe 6 touchdowns. Give me a guy that might like blow up here in this range. I already have my good one. You know, if I'm doing 2 or if I'm doing just a flyer on and punting it, give me somebody that might explode. Give me a Conquo. Give me Dulcich. Give me Kincaid. Even Juwan Johnson. Those are the guys I would pick in that area.
All right, Craig, what do you like there? Somebody we haven't talked about already.
Somebody we haven't talked about. Actually, I'm going to go down one more slot, and I'm going to say Irv Smith Jr.
Okay.
I just think he's in the right offense for a tight end, and he has a lot of upside to him. I think he has a lot of value in a later round pick, especially with Burrow throwing the ball. Don't worry, Burrow is going to play, so don't worry about his calf. Just Burrow spreads the ball around a lot, and so I think he has a lot of upside to him.
All right. So I didn't prepare anything for kickers and defenses, so we only have like 5 minutes to spend on each. Kickers, Sean.
Are we really already there?
It's 40 minutes in, homie.
Goes by quick, right? We gotta have time
for final thoughts and shit. So yeah. Give me a kicker. We all know. Listen, if you're playing season long, week to week, the kicker is the guy you're gonna drop when he's off a week and pick up whoever's not off a week. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got a kicker you really want, who is that kicker and why? Sean, what do you got for us?
It's the only kicker worth it. It's Justin Tucker. I mean, he can kick it from anywhere, any distance, anytime, and a decent offense. Give me Justin Tucker.
Wrong. Craig.
Sorry. You know what? There's Tucker, there's Koo, there's McPherson. Like, you can't really go wrong with any one of those. Personally, I like I like McPherson because he's good. But the one thing with kickers with fantasy, what I try to do is find a kicker who kicks indoors. So, Koo, for example, would be a perfect kicker for me.
I can buy that. The correct answer is Tyler Bass. But you're right, he kicks outdoors. And that's why I think Young Ho Koo and Daniel Carlson are so highly rated. Yes, Justin Tucker's what everybody wants. But listen, this is a guy you're going to cut in week 13 because he's off. You're not going to waste another roster spot to pick up a backup kicker even for 1 week. So I'm not banking on my kicker. Oh, well, Justin Tucker, you got 12 weeks if he doesn't get hurt, which is always a risk. Kickers are weird people.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to grab whoever's there, but I am looking at my top tier. I'm looking at Fantasy Pros, and I completely agree with their top tier. Their top tier is Tucker, Bass, Butker, McPherson, but their second tier is Carlson, then Koo, and then that's, to me, where the cliff is. I'll take any of those 6 guys, and if I don't get one of those 6 guys, I'm fine with it because one of them is going to become eligible as soon as they get an off week.
Yeah, that's true. Or you pick a kicker who kicks in good weather, like what's his name in Miami, Sanders. For
You want to
example.
know who's great? Who's a great early season kicker? Evan McPherson, because Cincinnati's schedule is easy. We just covered this.
There you go. Exactly.
The freaking Bengals schedule is super omega easy. They should score 70 points a game the first 4 weeks. That's
They should.
Yeah,
It's a lot, but they should. I mean, they
but
could.
They should score at least 20 plus points a week for the first 6 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I just never mind. All right. On to defenses. Why? Because we're running out of time. So I'm going to turn to our defensive team expert, which is Sean. Sean, defenses to watch. What do you got?
Defenses to watch. Oh my God, does it matter? I mean, really, unless you're in a league that has some crazy defensive scoring system. Oh wait, that's our home.
Excuse me, sir.
Jesus,
Excuse me, sir. We changed the defensive scoring for you last year, the year before. So
yeah,
yeah.
Last year. It's a little bit more normal.
If we set the goddamn scoring system to whoever Sean drafts is plus 25, he would still bitch about it during this episode every goddamn year.
I just don't want to lose because this crazy scoring system, your defense can score negative 25 points. That's ridiculous.
Right, we got rid of that. But
if your defense gives up 550 yards and 60 points, they should be minus 25.
0. Anyway. San Francisco, Buffalo, typical good defenses. Dallas, I think, is supposed to be pretty good. The Jets, that's whatever. Pick up a defense.
Craig. Save me, Craig.
Yeah, so the Jets defense is good. They're the reason why they were so good last year, not because of their quarterback. And also, as much as the offense had issues last year, Denver's defense gets a big bonus because they play in very thin air and they're used to it, and their visiting teams are not. So Denver's also worthy of a pick, I think.
Just
so
not
looking
to take KC.
Not the Chiefs' defense.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm looking at the Fantasy Pros free to see rankings, and they have the Chiefs as the number 9 fantasy defense.
Oh dear, were they drunk?
I'm getting there, but yeah, this is why defenses are as interchangeable as a kicker is.
Yeah,
you don't need 2 of them. If you're going to draft 2 of them, you better draft somebody who's off in weeks 5, 6, or 7 because you can drop them to pick up somebody else. Example, I love the Cincinnati Bengals defense this year. I love the Cowboys defense this year. Why? They're both off week 7. The Bengals, the Jets, they're also off week 7. If I'm going to go too deep at defense, I'm drafting one of those 3. I'm dropping them. I'm dropping the other guy, whoever it is, after week 7, and I'm picking up somebody who's gotten hot. But in most cases, I'm only carrying one kicker and one defense the entire season, and they're so interchangeable in 12-team leagues, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. So
yeah.
What does
so unless you're playing best ball, of course. But yes,
best ball. You we're talking about regular season long. So
yeah,
gentlemen. We spent all of 4 minutes on kickers and defenses, which is more than we've ever spent before. We are now into final thoughts. This is the final episode of the pre-rankings. Sean, what have you got for us on your pre-ranking thoughts?
When you're drafting, just don't be so sitting there like worried about ADP, worried about the rankings. This I gotta have this guy. Things gonna change during a draft. Mm-hmm. Just go ahead and have your tiers of. We were talking about it briefly with those tiers. People that you're comfortable with in this area. You draft at the beginning or the end. There's a lot of picks in between, so don't be afraid that you have to stretch out a little further. Don't go crazy and draft somebody in the 8th round that somebody that should be an 8th round in the 2nd round. But, if you got to draft someone that's at the 3rd round that doesn't come up until after your 3rd round, if you really think that guy's going to do it and do good this year, then go ahead and draft him.
Makes sense. Craig, I got to run to the bathroom, so go
yeah.
ahead. Tell me your final thoughts.
So for me, one thing that could help you if you don't know who the hell you want, and I was thinking about this past week, just take the time. You don't even have to take that much time. Take the time and make a list of people that you want to draft. Like, so basically pretend you were doing an online draft and you were setting up a queue on the off chance you had an auto draft, and just sit there and list like list the guys. Yeah, exactly. List the guys that you would want in what order. And that'll help you kind of narrow down, help you, kind of focus on who you want, because while you're sitting there drafting live in a room of people and I know this, it is terribly and horribly extremely easy to get sidetracked, and like you just stop paying attention to what you're doing, and you wind up drafting DJ Moore in the 4th round, like some moron. So there's that.
Is that moron?
Exactly. The other thing too, I just want to say I have a shout out to Dr. Skinny if he's still listening, because he listened last year. So if he's still listening, I hope you're doing well.
Dr. Skinny is an old buddy of Craig, Sean, and I from curling.
Awesome. Yes.
Yes, it's who you think it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him lately, but I will have to reach out to him. So yeah, absolutely. My final thought is draft season is absolutely the best time of the freaking year. It is Christmas for those of us who are in the fantasy community. Go out, freaking enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. Wait. Breaking. Breaking.
Yep.
In my chat, a person I play Hearthstone with, HMC. Hello, HMC. HMC just wants to know, what is our approach to drafting quarterbacks this year? Let's just take a quick step back. I know we're in final thoughts.
Sure.
Really
Let's do it. We're
off
live.
the top of our head. 60 seconds. We'll do it live. Let's start with Craig. Craig, what is your approach to drafting quarterbacks this year? I'm going to open another beer.
So for me, drafting quarterbacks this year, I think you can wait, because yes, there's Patrick Mahomes, there's Lamar Jackson, there's Joe Burrow, but I don't think you have to draft one. I don't think you have to draft one, as soon as you think you probably have to. Yeah,
don't panic. That's my advice on quarterback is don't panic. I said this during our quarterback episode, HMC, but Kirk Cousins has averaged 30 touchdowns a year, and most people rank him in the bottom part of the QB1 rankings, like in like the 10 to 12. A guy who's throwing 30 touchdowns a year is that low? You can be patient. Sean, what is your approach to quarterbacks this year?
I do like the crop of quarterbacks that are in the top like 9 people. There are, if in one quarterback leagues, you can wait. You want to have value. A lot of times you're not going to get value with Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to get value probably with Allen. But, you got to see. You got to see. If a guy falls below his, a round or two, I would say 2 rounds is a good time, like, for those other guys. But don't panic. There's guys in the middle. I'm really liking, Trevor Lawrence this year, and guys in that area. So I'd have to look again, but we'll save that for next week. But again, just don't panic. In one quarterback league, there's definitely guys. If you want to, you go with this. If you've missed that top tier, go with a steady guy like Kirk Cousins. And if you do 2 quarterbacks, you can go with a guy that's young and that can make that leap into that top 10, 12 tier.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Could not agree more with all of that. All right, my final thought, as I was just going into, and then I saw that HMC asked an excellent question, and I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. My final thought is draft season is like Christmas for us in the fantasy industry. Just go in and freaking enjoy it, man. I got to do all this preparation. Just enjoy it. earlier today, I was listening to, and I'm going to do a two-parter. So that's part one. Part two is listening to the Guru on Sirius XM. He has this thing he calls the 12, and it's the 12 players he feels like he can't live without. And how does he get to that point? He gets to that point by just saying, I've done a lot of mock drafting, and here's the guys I've been taking over and over and over again. Go out and have some fun with it. Practice your mock draft. But never forget, particularly if you have a live league and a live draft, this is the best time of year. Our live draft is one of my favorite events of the year. There's guys I don't get to see outside of that. So go and enjoy it, and and we get ready for a great football season. We will be back next week for our positional roundtable, where you get to find out. Yeah, exactly. Where you get to find out who ranked who here, which always sparks an argument, which is fantastic. I'm here for it. Let's just put it that way. I'm here for it. So HMC just said, my friends and I are in Santa Barbara this year for our draft. That's fantastic, man.
That's awesome.
When you can get together for live drafting, it's the best. So next week, I believe the Cinch will be rejoining us. He's gotten 2 weeks off. I'm pretty sure he's out of PTO, so he'll be back next week. And he will be here to talk about. We'll talk about the different positions across all positions, where we ranked people, and get to argue about it. And then the week after that will be our draft roundtable, and then that will end our pre-draft coverage. Because god damn, I'm tired of talking. And then we'll be jumping right in, and then we'll take a week off and we'll be right into the goddamn season, guys. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
we're less than a month away from football.
That's right. I mean, we had the Hall of Fame game, and I watched it for like 10 minutes and then turned it off.
That's not football.
No,
I'd rather watch a Pee Wee game, honestly. I'm just gonna be honest. So, but we'll be back.
The love of everybody there is like, oh yeah, we love you, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, you're the best.
Yeah, you all right?
Ridiculous.
You okay? Aaron Rodgers didn't play. You're right?
Yeah, they interviewed him, and Chris Collinsworth, the man crush, was just ridiculous.
Just so everyone knows, Sean's a Bears fan, and he has some problems with Aaron Rodgers.
Why would I have problems? He owns the team, apparently. So
yeah.
You beat him like twice in the last 20 years.
I mean, yeah. It's like the Orioles playing the Rays.
Yeah, no, don't go there. Get suspended. All of a sudden, we get cut off, and nobody seems to understand. You never know it. So yeah, don't. That was intentional, by the way. Those mic cuts were intentional. So we'll be back next week, and then the last draft roundtable. So 2 weeks of draft roundtables, and then a week off, and then the freaking season's upon us. And Craig and I will be shifting into DFS mode. So once again, happy birthday to Cinch. A hi to Deb, and until we see you guys next week, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Sean.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Have a great week, everybody.